We got Dark Contract, Doomsday Destruction, another rabbit, a hunting horn, Marianne, Cursaps, Tao Tao Chanta, Makier. And we have our third album, fine. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a child again. That feeling of being the protagonist and bursting right through with your own deck. With only 30 euros a week, cards only being pulled, sealed or traded, and everything has to be on video. If I go 0-4, you guys can decide of a card that I have to remove from my deck and then every copy of it. On the other hand, going 4-0 means I unlock card market prices, getting me to improve my deck cheaper. Welcome back, guys. I'm doing a quick voiceover over the opening. I will leave you with that in a second, but there's some important things to talk about. We have 3 more weeks, or I said 2 more locals, and then regionals time. So yeah, 2 more weeks to fulfill the dream of building Dark World to the best. To everyone watching this video, if you are in Munich and playing at the Funtainment, if you have Radiant Typhoon Svens 1 or 2 and 1 chant, I will trade you for them. That would be so helpful for the series. So thank you very much, and I'll leave you with the opening now. We have Faisan Hunting, Fleeting Flower of the Magician, Okiko's Discount. Let me put them to the center to you. Apocavities, Fearalize Overdrive, Radiant Heaven Vision, Goki Dragon Ogre, I think there's one more, Archmage Movement Pedigree, and we have RB Shepherd's Cook as an ultra rare. You can see it in the foiling, the gold text. Nice. Well, not what we needed, not the ultra we needed. That could have been Sven. Well, I think we've all seen enough Doom of Dimension cards, so I'm just gonna speed this up a bit. Next one we have Doomsday Break the Actros. So guys, what do you think? Will we pull them or not? Because I very much doubt we will put the cards that we need. That's the third pack. Don't have much more. Barcavities, Archmage, RB Last Stand, RB Next Phase, VAR, Okonomatage, Chic Ogre, First King Clovis, and Machine Suprex. This pack is the halfway point, then we've done 5 and have 5 left to go. RB Next Phase, Cursed Copycat, Quad Dogmatica Beast, Fleeting Flower, Serene Psychic Sorceress, Tao Tao the Chanter, Chic Ogre, Dragon Ogre, Vengeful Witch. Doesn't seem like we'll pull Eldem or Sven again. Yeah, we want to play that deck at regionals. Pfizer, Archmage, Disguise Copycat, Last Stand, Sulfur Cord, Makia, Mariam, Sulfur Cord. But we have the Secret Rare Masterpiece, the True Draco Overlord. Maybe some trade fodder. Nice foiling there. So we have at least one hit. We got Dark Contract, Doomsday Destruction, another rabbit, a hunting horn, Marianne, Cursaps, Tao Tao Chanta, Makier. And we have our third Eldem, finally! We don't need an Eldem anymore. We have the playset of Eldem. We only need 2 Svens now. And because of the recent YCS, they're raising in price and no one wants to trade them away. We also pull the Starlight Sven. I would take it. Fleeting Flower, Twin Jewels, Lily Reaper, Dark Contract, Vision, Miasma, DD Land Soldier, Wake Up Cup Markia, and we have another RB. It is Pile. Pile of crap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copycat, Lambda, Infernal Punisher, Lily Reaper, Markia, Necromancer, Manifestationer, Soldier, and Yummy. Last pack. Is Sven in here? Is Sven in here? Bless this pack. Let Sven be in here. Let this be Sven. Blade, Megalith, Cherul, Infernal Punisher, VR, Land Soldier, Sphinx of the Cycle, Ono Tomokage, and it is DDD Sky King Zeus Ragnar. So we got 2 secrets, but not the ultra we wanted. Well, guys, let's see with a deck update, if there is one, or a binder update. Then let's get dueling. So guys, as my first over, I'm sorry if I'm doing something bad. I win in Dice World. Tom was a good friend of mine, was in that one, so I start the game. My hand, if I remember correctly, was pretty well. We started with Genta, as well as Gen. We also decided to pitch Genta first, to go out and search the gates of the dark world, which Thomas first says is good, and then he ashes it, so that's already a stop to one of the dark world plays. Then we think a little bit what's the next step to do. Then we decide to normal summon Gen to special Ken to his side, which we'll see soon. Right here we special Gen then, which is effect, special scan and defense position. Ken's effect lets us draw 2 cards and we have to discard 1. We discard card destruction because it doesn't work for us right now. We send another Genta because we had a second one on hand to search us our first copy of Gates of the Dark World. We will then proceed to use talents to draw 2 more cards. Since he activated Ken, that lets us activate talents. He also activated Ash, so that would have worked anyway. So checking our grave real quick, deciding what to do next, we activate Gates, we banish Genta, and discard Rainbow if I'm sure. Then we can draw a card, and then we chain. We chain block Genta, so he will get special back, and then we can search. Sadly, because of the lighting, I can't tell if it's Rainbow or Snow, but I can tell it was Rainbow since we searched Silver. And then we proceeded to activate Dark Corridor to search us another Dark World card. Now proceeding to search Snow. As another search, we have to discard a card. We will think real quick about what to discard. And here I could have went another route after the discard for what we search. We discard Grapha to pop Ken. We could have discarded Snow to add us the fusion spell many different ways. We decided to go with Grapha, special Grapha back by bouncing Genta back to the hand, repeating the usual Dark World loop to search another gates of the Dark World, which then we can proceed to activate again. Since it's a soft once per turn, it means once per copy, or if I could recycle from the grave still. We banish Genta now for good, this time we can't, and now we discard Snow, where we only chain Snow. Of course we draw our card. After resolving Snow's effect, we go to search, and if I remember correctly, we search for the fusion spell. Yes, we do. We search for Dark World Accession to enable us getting out Grapha, the fusion monster, or Clawless in the opponent's turn as a board wipe. Just really quick explaining again how we got Rainbow on the field just by bouncing Genta back. Grapha has the same effect to bounce back a Dark World card onto the hand, so we can increase it up there. Thomas accidentally bumped over the camera, so the angle is a bit weird now. After that we activate a session, we banish Snow, banish Genta, since we don't need the loop anymore, and we send for Aerial Eater to get our Saga into the grave, which will enable us to go for Clawless, since I do not want to play the vanilla, or not vanilla, the old Rainbow, because it just is not good enough. Since we discarded Silver, it will get specialed back, and then we put Grapher onto the field. So we have an IP, a Rainbow, a Grapher. We go into the danger package, showing Jackalope. So opponent randomly chooses a card. He chose Silver, which is okay. We summon Silver back, and Jackalope summons itself. We can draw a card. Now, after thinking a bit of what to do next, I'm pretty sure we go into either a Nightmare card or we go into Sayuja, just to draw 4 cards, pick the one that we want, while leaving IP on the field. And that is exactly what we're doing. We go into Sayuja, we can draw 4 cards, choose one of those, the other one gets put into any order we want under the deck, which in Dark World doesn't matter a lot, since we can just search. I sadly do not know what we searched for right now. And there the camera went to my hair tie that holds my playmat together, who knows why. So we leave like that, we have our fusion spell set again. Thomas draws for turn, and if I remember correctly, he drew a Duel, which at this point doesn't do him anything. He tries to figure out what to do, and I don't think anything more will happen from that. Yes, I remember he kaiju'd my IP, just so that I can't use IP's effect to quick link during his turn. And then he sets one and passes back to me. I go for draw for turn. At the end phase, his kaiju lets him draw a card still. And now I think he drew the draw. So now we have a kaiju on field, we have Sayuja on field, and we have our fusion set. Which I didn't activate that turn because it just wasn't necessary. Now we activate session to fuse. We banish from the grave, we banish the kaiju since it's also a fiend. And we banished Grapher to get out the first Grapher. Then we activate the Sessions effect to bounce back to hand by discarding a Dark World card. We discarded Silver, so we can add Silver back to hand. We will activate Gates effect to banish a Dark World monster, discard a Dark World monster to draw a card. Where at that point, Thomas could have trolled us. I pass turn, Thomas scoops, and that's the end of game 1. Game 2 and 3 were completely winners for me. Now after the loss in game 1 against Orcust Mitsu with Thomas, because game 2 and 3 I bricked completely and couldn't keep playing in Orcust with the grave effects that just we use as well. It was just too strong for going second. Now in the next matchup we're playing against someone who's new to the Funtainment. He is playing Sky Striker, we are playing Dark World. He had to resleeve a card real quick. I'm just leaving it in because it's a bit of character. And here the dice magic happens again. We both roll 12s. I roll a 7. We both roll a 7, and then I roll a 3, and he wins the dice roll. And now something really unusual happens in Yu-Gi-Oh! After splitting the decks, or cutting the decks, he lets me go first. And I asked him, are you sure to let me go first? He decided, yes, go first, so that's what we did. So lots of the combos will be the same as earlier because my hand was pretty good. After thinking it through, we start with a rotor to search us again to the hand, just to get the drawing power of Ken off. If I remember correctly, my opponent didn't have any interruptions, no hand traps, so we were able to pull through. We then decide to normal again, letting us special Ken to his side, getting us to draw to discard one, which just starts the darkworld engine, because we need to discard cards. And which Yu-Gi player doesn't like drawing cards? That's just how the cookie crumbles for us. After letting him cut a deck, we draw a card, or two cards actually, to discard one. We drew a session, I think, and we had Versago on hand already. And I think we discarded Fuvolos there because we didn't need it anymore. We activate Thrust to search us Dark Corridor, to just go deeper into the engine and start getting us our Dark World monsters. After adding Dark Corridor to the hand, we activate it right away to search us our copy of Kenta, because Kenta is the best starter in the deck, getting us the gates, banishing itself, going back to the field as another body, which we then proceed to do. We pitch, actually first we pitch Grapha from Dark Corridor just to get Ken off his field, then we pitch Kenta to add us the field spell. Which then therefore we activate right away, banishing Ganta. And we discard Rainbow. Ganta and Rainbow on hand is the perfect start where you can hand rip the opponent. But this time it didn't work quite as well. Ganta gets summoned back to the field. Rainbow lets us add a level 5 or higher Darkworld monster. The deck we're currently playing, we are only playing silver, we're not playing gold because the pops from gold are not necessary. You can play them on one, I decide against it. We bounce Ganta back to end just to continue the loop, searching another gates of the dark world. So we can just banish again, discard again, draw another card, resolve the discard effect, and go further into our combo. Right away we activate Gates of the Dark World. Then we show Salamander in silver. Salamander is great for playing through Nip, but also just to get another body there. I could have specialed Salamander and discarded silver because silver would have specialed itself back. It was a mistake on my part. With a 12-year break of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's quite difficult to play perfectly, and even then I'm sure I would have made a mistake somewhere. Maybe I even did already and you guys can let me know. Then we banish Salamander to activate the gates. And we discard Snow, I think. No, we discard Silver to get another body on field. Now we proceed to go into Link Summon. In fact, probably it's another IP. Yes, it is another IP. Just to have the interaction already on board. So it's an important endboard piece. Then we proceed to special summon Rainbow back by bouncing Silver to the hand. Checking our grave to see what Dark World names we have in the grave. If we have a Grapha in grave, we can special it back too. But then we activate the OG, not like in the first game. Card destruction to just reset our hand, maybe pull something new that we need, also activating more graveyard effects, getting silver back to the field. The hand power as well as the body power on Dark World are just amazing. We proceed to go into another Link Summon, into Muckraker of the Underworld, and we special back Rainbow by bouncing Silver to the hand again. Then we can activate Muckraker's effect, special summoning a Fiend monster from the grave by discarding a card. There we go. We special summon back from the grave using Muckraker's effect. Since the discard is not for cost, it triggers the darkworld cards because darkworld cards need to be discarded by card effect. Cost doesn't count there, so an underworld goddess wouldn't trigger darkworld effects. Now we discarded Snow to add us a darkworld card. This time we add a session because our win con is to use Grapha for our opponent to get rid of his cards. We special summon back Grapha to have Silver back on hand again. We pitch another Ganta for another field spell. Just repeating the loop, and that's the essentials of Darkworld, just making sure your combo keeps going forward. That's why Duel is the worst enemy for us, because we draw, we search, we do everything, and Duel is the only hand trap that really gets rid of us. Now we discard Ceruli. If Ceruli gets discarded by a Darkworld effect, it's special summoned to the other field, or that does regardless, but if it gets discarded by a Darkworld effect, the opponent player, which in this case is me, has to discard a card. We discarded Silver. When Silver gets discarded by an opponent's card effect, our opponent has to put 2 cards from their hand onto the deck. Now we proceed into another Link summon, and if I remember correctly, we go into Cerberus to pop. No, we did not. We went into Phoenix, Nightmare Phoenix. Not that we particularly needed to, especially because we can't use its effect to discard and then draw a card. But just for the simple solution that we needed Rainbow or Grapha back in the grave to bounce Silver back to hand. Nightmare Phoenix hits the field. Also another thing is it is another Fiend, which works with a session. And let's see if I did bounce back Silver, which I'm pretty sure I did. But first we go into a session to fuse. That's why I didn't use Grapha to bounce back, because we fused Grapha off. And we discard Versago, because a session says if you fuse a Darkworld monster, you can also discard the materials. Now we have Grapha on the field. That means in our opponent's turn, the moment he activates a card effect, we can chain Grapha, making that effect to your opponent discards a card. Now we use Rainbow to bounce back Silver on hand, so we can then discard Silver and rip 2 more cards from hand. We activate a session from grave, discarding a card to add it back to hand, and we have another Silver in hand. And it looks like I did not banish Grapha, I banished, since I discarded Versago in grave, we have both level 8s on the field, we set a session, and we pass turn. Our opponent draws for turn. He has 3 cards in hand right now. He's playing Sky Striker, so the Ceruli on his field really bothers him, because for his Sky Striker spells, he can't have any cards in his main monster zone. He draws a card with Upstart, so he has still 3. We are at 9,000 life points right now. Then he proceeds to go into battle phase, I think, after switching Ceruli to attack mode. Exactly. Crashing into our IP to get rid of the monster's main monster, so his Sky Striker cards work again. Then he activates Hornet Drone to special itself as a token, so he can start his link climbing. before he does that, I chain Grapher. Since he activates an effect, the effect of Hornet Round becomes your opponent discards a card. But before that, actually, I chained IP and then Grapher, which in hindsight is actually a misplay. I would have needed to chain Grapher, then IP, because IP would have chain blocked it, and I couldn't have used Grapher's effect to change the effect. So technically there was a misplay. The outcome is still the same, but in official tournaments that would have not worked, and our opponent could have proceeded to go off with a Sky Striker play. Then I decide to go for Sayuja again, just in case I need follow-up for the next turn. I can draw 4 cards, choose one of the following cards. Now I discard Silver, which was still the wrong chain resolving, because in this case Grapher would have hit first, negating Hornet drones, and then IP would have link summoned. Yes, I used 4 materials, so user tells us that we can draw 4 cards, put one on the bottom of your field. Now Silver summons itself back. Since it got discarded by an opponent's card effect, our opponent has to put 2 cards under the deck, which leaves him with 1 card in hand. And said card was another Kaiju. Summoning over my Sayuja. There was nothing really he could have done. He had 1 card left in hand and could not do anything. And just to produce dominance, I activate a session before he ends his turn to fuse out our second boss monster by banishing as many fiends as I feasibly can. Of course, saving the important ones for us, like Grapher still, I think. Exactly, we use 8 materials. So Clawless says 1000 attack and defense per material. It hits the field with 8000 attack, 8000 defense. If our opponent would have a board, it would be a board wipe. As well as once per turn, I can target 1 card on my field and make it untargetable by the opponent's card effects. And that's game.